Okay.
Morning, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Facilities and Property Committee. This is the first meeting of this committee, which has been set up because obviously the council has a bit more responsibilities on properties and assets that they hold. So, and we've also got a facilities manager. So it was decided by council that we would set up this new committee which could focus purely on those assets. So second on the agenda, apologies for absence.
Councillor Richard Jarvis, Chair.
Thank you. Any declarations of interest? I will declare an interest as a county councillor, and because some of the assets are owned by Swansea City Council, I'm also
I think most of them are.
yeah, and I'm also a coach at Mumbles Rangers under 9 girls. Any other declarations of interest? You should, I guess.
Please, I'll declare an interest as a committee member of Newton Athletic Football Club and a team player on the ladies team.
You are a team player. Okay, and number 4 is to elect a vice chair of the committee. So I'd like to propose Laura, if you're happy being proposed.
Yeah.
Can I get a seconder if someone's prepared a second? Ian, thank you very much. So all those in favour of Laura being elected vice chair of the committee? Okay, that's carried, thank you. Recommendations for co-opted committee members. Okay, does anyone have any, Anna, did you have anything you wanted, any sort of groups or people that you thought would want to be co-opted on?
I did
to
not.
this committee?
No.
So I believe that there's going to be eventually a sort of quarterly meeting group between the clubs and yourself and maybe some councillors. I personally think we can separate to this, but I don't know what other people think, because obviously focus on what is, actually different to what clubs think. They don't. Anyway.
I don't think this is like just like that stream.
Carrie, do you want to come in?
Yeah, I think you've probably just said it. I don't think that we should be at this stage appointing members of clubs for any of our, if we're saying, we should have the rugby club, then we should also have the bowls club, and we should also have the Ostream History Society, and so it goes on. So personally, I think let's see how this works with our current membership. Maybe agree to review it in 6 months, and if we feel there is a pressing need for particular areas of expertise that we'd like to include, then think about it then. But I just feel we're new, we don't really know quite how it's going to work out. Let's just give it a go.
Yeah, no, agree. And I think the AGM is probably the best time to sort of look at it, add it to that then. So everyone else agree with that.
I agree with that.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the proposed dates for future meetings. So I don't know when's good for people, and the day's better for me, but not so good for you, right? It's Thursday. I get Swansea Council first Thursday. Is it first Thursday? Yeah, I think it's first Thursday of every month.
This is again, at the AGM, and people have joined it on the basis that it was going to be the 3rd Thursday of the month. So let's stick with that.
Yeah,
it doesn't clash with City Council because, as you say, that's on the 1st Thursday.
Okay. We've got a slight problem with Ian and Ian Scott can't make the Thursdays because
OHA.
Okay, and that's a slight problem with the minutes, obviously, and everything.
This Ian, you mean Ian Hughes?
Both Ians, because they're both on OHA as well. Yeah.
Oh, right. And so you meet on this on like today?
Yeah, Karen, we meet the third Thursday of each month, but obviously we have a summer recess, July and August. Other than that, it's every
Yeah,
month.
but comes, well, how about the fourth Thursday?
Yeah,
It's
I
just,
mean,
you know,
we'll
we've
try-
already got so many other things on a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
yeah, okay,
I think
okay.
we'd struggle to find a spare one in between.
okay. Yeah, I think we can try the fourth Thursday, and then we'll just keep it.
Yeah, give it a go, see how it works.
If it's a problem, we can
Yeah.
come back.
What will be the frequency?
Yeah, what is the frequency? Is it quarterly or monthly?
I think it was monthly,
I
but
think it's aimed at being monthly, but obviously we also will have a break in August, hopefully. So
Yeah, well, we might not be able to because there's a couple of things you wanted to discuss, isn't there? So we
oh,
could always-
okay.
yeah, we missed off, but there we are. Okay.
Okay, well, if we say provisionally monthly, but if we sort of look and say, well, actually, there's nothing urgent we need to meet about, we can just skip a month if necessary, or as you say, we can always pick up and have a quick interim meeting if there's something urgent.
Yeah, okay, let's move on from that then. So monthly for Thursday, that's fine. MCC, right, number 7 is MCC pavilion usage policy for current and future potential development. So this is basically sort of more driven by the rugby club, correct?
correct.
Correct. And the rugby club wants some not rules as such. They want a memorandum of understanding with the council so that they can show their members that we are committed to a relationship with them long term and short term. Probably the short term memorandum of understanding would be different to the long term if we were to develop it.
Yeah.
Which is still, not guaranteed. So if we deal with the short term and we've got a policy, is there anything that you feel that's been brought up by the rugby club that needs to be discussed with the council, or could you give us an idea before I open it to other councillors of what that MOU is?
Yeah. So they sent something over to us, and I've obviously drafted something back to them of what I believe is a fair offer of what we could partnership with them on. It's still very much like conversation, like draft, because I know that they're going to ask for more. Basically, just how do you want me to approach it? I imagine you'll want to see it before we confirm anything, but nothing is not definitive. It's just this is what we are willing to offer.
And it's not contractual or
Nothing's contractual. It's not legal.
Yeah, it says that on top, doesn't it?
The first paragraph says that.
It's more of a document in it.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually give them anything that we're not already offering, and it's more business related in terms of increasing footfall and turnover, and it also includes the 10% sport growth grant offering that we've already decided on in council. So
which is open to the other clubs as well. Carrie.
Yeah, I don't think we should be singling out the rugby club for anything.
no,
Sorry,
no,
but
again,
Underhill is open to, and we have 3 sort of resident clubs. So why are we giving some special treatment to the rugby club?
the only reason I've drafted this for them is because they have specifically requested it. If Rangers and Newton Athletics did want something similar, then it would definitely be something we'd be open to explore. And I think actually it does have the other sport clubs in.
That's why I wanted it on the agenda purely
Yeah.
for that, because it isn't between the rugby club, it's between the council and the users of, and that's what it's quite clearly going to say.
So what are they actually asking for?
What I've written is between us and the rugby club. It's quite specific. It has quite specific dates in, like crackers, stuff like that. They're just asking to have something offered, saying to their members, this is the partnership that we have. So it includes the 10%, which we are offering to all sports clubs. It includes like things which are really actually just sort of operational, like they're no longer having their barbecues. We're going to do their barbecues and so on and so forth, like quite very specific things. What else? Probably best if I just send it over. But the reason I didn't know this was coming up, the reason I haven't sent it over is I'm waiting for them to come back with what because I know that I've gone like quite no, and they're going to come back with what they want, and it's probably going to change. That's why I haven't bought it to the people. Otherwise, I don't.
Yeah, maybe then it is, I don't know if it's possible to do, but maybe it is better to do it as a document tool rather than specifically them. We try it. I know things in practice don't always work, like it's easy to say, and then they want something that the other clubs don't, or like they get something that the other clubs don't, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think firstly, if we bring it back to the next committee, we'll try to make it like one document that everyone works off.
Yeah. To be honest, it's the same rules that I'm going to be imposing on everyone. Like, i.e., we are going to be the only ones doing the barbecues down there, and with that, this is what you get back from it. So I've been working on it, and I'm all for fairness across the board.
Yeah. Okay.
So can we, I think basically we have to see it.
Yes,
we're sort of talking about something we don't actually know what it is.
Yeah, of course,
so
yeah.
Let's have a look at it and see if we can make it a kind of document that would be appropriate for any of the clubs. There might be like little extra bits that, rugby club this, football club that, but generally I think we need to have a document that meets the needs of, because what's going to happen otherwise. We do some of the rugby and everyone else is going to be up in arms as that's not fair. So, let's try and start by, making something that they can all buy into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So there's nothing that you want to ask us on regards to that, our opinions on any specific thing before we move over? We just need to.
Your opinion.
Well, I mean, I do think the clubs should be able to use the pavilion for no charge.
Yeah.
I do think the clubs should be able to socialise in there when the hub's open, even when that's not open. So they should be able to go in the winter, for example, after training, say, your team should be able to, if they don't feel like they want to sit in the hub, go and sit in there, as long as the hub's open and no charge. I do think that's the whole thing. So I'd like to see like a shared workspace, that hub being used for shared workspace in Monday to Friday. But maybe up till 4 o'clock so that clubs can start to use it in the evenings or something. I don't know. Yeah, sorry, yeah. What else? Obviously if we developed it, it's a completely different conversation, but currently, yeah, those sorts of things. I just think it needs to be used by the clubs as a not.
Yeah, we do have it is quite. I never charge.
Yeah,
and we do have quite an open door because I just use it. So
yeah, we when Wales with bad, we've got in there before now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's fine. So nothing to vote on there either. So moving on to item number 8, which is it says on the minutes here, which has changed since then, 15,000 contribution to the gate at Underhill. We actually covered that off in full council last night. It was actually 7,500 from us, and we're hoping to get 7,500 from Swansea Council towards it. So that one should be covered as well. We talked about that last night.
Yes, it's just a question. Because of the property, is there a bona fide easement order for them? And does it work both ways? Whose drive is it?
So I believe Swansea Council own the land and they have a right of access over it.
Right.
So yeah, we can't lock it without their permission, obviously. We have spoken to them, haven't we, the house. They're very nice, aren't they, the people who live there? And they've said, well, they were happy with an electric bollard, but we can't really afford that. Yeah. So what we came to is a gate with a padlock code Realistically, I don't think the padlock will be on all the time, but we have the ability to put it on whenever we want. So yeah. But it's got enough room for people to pull in off the road, isn't it? Delivery trucks.
Yeah.
Open the gate, and then also it's got 2 little gates for people to stop the kids running across the road, and it's got a 4-meter gate to let the tractor in, so the tractor no longer has to go. The tractor no longer has to go past the park and muddy, the muddy little sections. So it is, yeah. Thank you. I'm not. She thinks I'm mad.
No, I don't. It is awful.
It looks crap on the website.
It's terrible.
No, it is. It'll prevent that.
It will, and
It's a high water table there.
Yeah. We do a nice raised bed there, then it'll look nice. Some wildflowers, maybe a water feature. We'll get carried away now. Yeah.
I think it has plenty of water features without us adding any more.
Very true. Yeah, that's true. Plenty coming from the sky.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. I think we've covered that yesterday. So moving on to item number 9, which is the 3G pitch dugouts. I was wondering if we could. They're a bit of a safety risk. They're going to be needed next season. Can we?
Right, I think that because they're his Rangers property, not ours.
Right.
I've asked him now for 3 weeks consecutively, like, what's he doing with them? He's told me they're just going to remove them. He's not willing to buy any more, get them repaired because he thinks they're going to break. He's got to have them off the pitch. They've told me they're doing it, but I'm pretty sure. Have you been out there today?
Not today, I was there last night, but
They're probably still there. I mean, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to go down when the team are practicing and literally get the boys to move up. Yeah, because I can't pick them up.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're saying is we're going to get rid of the current existing ones. Right, so Rangers aren't going to buy them. We rent the pitch out, coaches need them, people who hire them need them. We need dugouts. If they're not going to buy some, we need to buy some. Not just for them, but for anyone using the pitch.
Well, we should just repair those buttons.
They're going to get, it's the PVC on them. The ball eventually hits it and it'll smash again. If you look up the uni, they've got these sort of like dome ones. Have you seen them? They're not tall, big enough to stand up in. You can only sit down in them. But they've got like sort of rounded top ones. If you have a look at Swansea Uni's ones, we just get something like that. If we could maybe get... Well, much more, yeah. If you smacked ball into them, they wouldn't. I think that's why they're there. Yeah. Because those ones, the ball hits the perspex and breaks, and then it looks like a death trap, isn't it? Okay, so what we're saying is we're asking...
Can I just it seems to be this endless. More money on Underhill. Now you're talking. We've got to buy some dugouts. Why have we got to buy some?
Well, we're going to get a quote for the next meeting. That's what I was going to suggest. We don't have
to. Why do we need to buy them at all if they're for Mumbles Rangers? Why don't they buy them? So
if someone is hiring the pitch, like for example, Swansea University, don't they?
They do.
I would expect that they'd assume they'd have dugouts.
Why would they need them?
Also, when dugouts.
They're part of the like FAW. There's certain matches you can't play unless you've got them.
Yeah, but that's Mumbles Rangers who play those games.
University would have criteria for that sort of thing as well, I'm sure.
But how often do the university play FAW standard games on our all-weather pitch rather than their own?
Never FAW, but they play games that need it. You need a dugout, right? If you're a kid who's sub and you're sitting there in the winter and you're getting wet, it's not very fun. So it's not just... I just think, sorry, it's yet again, where's this magic money supposed to come from? I'm not suggesting that we pay for them at all yet. I'm suggesting that Hannah goes away and gets a quote for them, comes back and we discuss it further. So we will have this conversation at a later date, I guess. Okay, so if you could... ask your Rangers to get rid of them. We'll put them out and put a bit of pressure on them to get rid of them, and then we will get a quote for the ones that the uni have got and take that from there. That's all right.
Yeah.
And bring that back to the next one. Okay, so the asset. Moving on to item number 10. Asset transfer request for the Bowls Green. So as I understand it, when Francesca did the grant for the Bowls Green, it came with a condition that they weren't, or some kind of internal condition at the council, they weren't allowed to asset transfer that for 12 months. So that's around December, I believe, isn't it?
I'd be guessing.
Okay, I think it was December-ish that they finished the works, I guess. I'd be guessing as well. Anyway, I think it was December. So if we or you could write to, because these things take ages at Swansea Council, right? And we have started the conversation, but all the people have left, all new faces now, so it'd be like starting again. So Lewis Hines did an asset, we had an asset transfer.
That was about 12 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I think it's certainly 8 years ago. That we had an asset transfer request and agreement from the cabinet member for, I think it was 3 years, but we want a bit more than that, because if we're going to spend money down there and do things. So, I mean, we'll obviously vote on this, and I'll bring everyone in now, but my opinion is that we ask for, minimum 10-year lease, hopefully longer, 25 years, whatever. Peppercorn rent, because we're going to be maintaining it, for as many of the buildings as we can down there as well. So we'll draw a line and say, including actually the one that goes on to Cornwall Place. Yeah, including the one that goes on to Cornwall Place, currently is storage for council stuff. And we will start the conversation, try and get it through cabinet, and then obviously if it was agreeable by then the lease would start in January, February. This is holding back the Bulls and the croquet clubs putting in grants because they haven't got licenses to occupy and blah, 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 blah. So they can't get grants. There's a reason to do it. Also, Swansea Council did a really bad job at keeping the green this year. So the clubs have had to get involved and get down there and put loads of volunteer time in, even though they're paying thousands of pounds to do it. So there is a big motivation, in my opinion, to do it. And there is some things we can do down there which would make it better. Bring Carrie in first.
Yeah, I think there's no point in asking for 10 years. I would go straight in at 25. It seems, let's not give them the option of saying, all right, 10. Let's say 25. Second thing is, we do not have the specialist equipment to mow and maintain a bowl screen. So how are you suggesting we do that if we don't continue with a contract with Swansea Council?
So there's a number of things. The croquet club, I have spoken to the croquet club about this. One of them's a member of the Porthcawl, I think it is, croquet club, and they're like, that's like proper, twice the size, member-led croquet club. So they've got some advice and they've mentioned some things to me, but I think it would have to be subbed out personally, and the clubs would have to pay. I mean, I think there's almost enough money that we all pay together now to have a good chunk of that subcontraction paid. And obviously Langland Golf Club, maybe they could get involved, or Klein, they've got the equipment, so maybe they could help, and maybe, but I don't know. I think this is an early conversation. That's why if we start talking about this now, we can tick all these things off, and that's a good point, Karen. So we can separately bring that up. If you could meet with or send a letter to the croquet bowls clubs, all three of them, ask them if we were to take it on, how they see the maintenance working and how much that would cost if Swansea Council weren't to maintain it, and then we can have that information for the next meeting, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing is, has the issue been resolved about the Bowls Club claiming that no one else is allowed to use the shed thing, hut, clubhouse, whatever you want to call it?
They all use it in harmony now. In fact, there's actually there's a stained glass is a bit of a stretch. There's an etched glass window at the back with all the three clubs' names on them.
Good, excellent.
With a bowl and a croquet mat.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's really nice. It's nice to see, actually.
No, that's good. Well done for the three of them for managing to bury their differences and work together.
Well, it took the bowls, the Oystermouth Bowls Club, a long time to get used to the croquet on there.
Oh, yes.
You know, they were worried that it was going to damage it, in fairness, but obviously when they started playing, I think they realised it didn't, then everything's
Yeah.
fine now. So it was a legitimate sort of worry, but it's good. Ian, anything on that, on the bowls? Or the...
Excuse me, I think the maintenance of the periphery is
Yeah.
something that warrants consideration.
Yeah.
There's the hedge, also the shrubbery as well. Those are costly.
What about the tennis courts next time? What is happening with
This is recorded, so I won't be telling you.
that?
Yeah, we can talk about that later. Laura, anything?
No.
Okay, so I think Ian's made a point, Carrie. I don't know if you
No,
heard
I didn't hear it, sorry.
It's just that it's not just the green, it's the hedges around that and the gardens that probably would
Yeah.
need to. So we'll look into that as well. And
Yeah.
maybe we could speak to someone like Gerald Davis or which is a contractor, you know, that does like grounds management. There's got to be loads around here that could maybe be up to the job and get an idea of it. So so we're asking for the hedges, the what's it called, the flower bed, but mainly the green. Yeah. Carrie, did you want to?
No, I need to, you know, I've always supported taking it on, you know, for the last however many years since I've been here. And I knew it had started before then. But we do have to be aware that there will be costs, and we do have to be aware that we will have to find the money somewhere for those costs. And, you know, that perhaps the clubs will have to be aware that they will possibly be, I hope, being asked to actually contribute towards those costs, because ultimately they are the users, and therefore, you know, we would expect them to be prepared to pay for the costs of maintaining it.
Yeah, one other thing I just wanted to note then, if we say 25-year that we'd ask for, the other thing is obviously, you know, that does run down then. What we do in work is we have these rolling contracts where they have to give us notice, so minimum 25 years. And then, so you've always 5 years under. So after, say, in 30 years, if no one's giving you notice, you've still got 5 years. And I think the reason, like, for 5 years would take it out of any political term, you know. So if someone, if any council in the future was not as nice as we are, and they
So
couldn't
5 years would be exactly the term of a council.
do it the first day they got in, wouldn't they? It's a bit, all right, 5 years, 1 day then. You'd
No,
have to
I
really-
would, yeah, I mean, if you think about how Austrian Community Association, I mean, their lease actually came to an end sometime back in, I don't know, the annals of history sometime, but it just kept rolling on. And I think we probably need to have some sort of thing like that, but we do definitely need you know, some form of break clause. Because, you know, we don't want to find ourselves in a position where suddenly, you know, there is some massive cost that, you know, or that Swansea Council are demanding, you know, something or other. So I think, you know, like with the Austrian, we do need to perhaps, you know, think about slotting in a break clause somewhere.
Yeah, then we'll get advice on that and hopefully better
Yeah.
advice. There we are. Okay, that's nothing else. So that brings the meeting to a close.
Could I, sorry, can we please, this is facilities and premises, it's not Underhill. So can we make sure that actually this meeting covers Austrian particularly, which seems to have nobody apart from me appears to be remotely interested in anymore, apart from the staff who are extremely interested in it. You know, it covers the skate park, it covers the nature reserve, it covers the orchard. You know, there's a lot of other facilities